am Tanya Gerard, your congruency coach. As you know, congruency is the habit of making conscious, intentional decisions that create sustainable well-being for you. On today's episode of Conversations on Congruency, I will share with you how you can connect with your needs and observe those behaviors that are tricking you into making decisions that don't make sense. Welcome, thank you for watching. Today I will share with you how you can connect with your needs and observe those behaviors that are tricking you and are resulting in decisions that don't work out as you wanted. Let's start with a basic idea. Our needs control our decisions. Our brain is wired in a way that will secure any way to address unmet needs. These needs can be physical, sleep, water, nourishment, rest. Or they can be what we call more emotional or even spiritual, if that word makes sense to you. Needs lie within us. And when we have unmet needs, they scream, trying to get our attention. Now, when we are not aware, we have this fantasy of making decisions from our head, from what we think is good. But then we have all these behaviors that trigger as we don't meet our needs. I'll get clearer on that. Imagine your needs are toddlers. They want your attention because they want you to take care of them. They will start by talking softly, by, just trying to pull your pants leg or just smiling and getting closer. But if you decide to ignore them, or if you don't quite understand them, they will get louder. Now, the way that needs communicate with you are feelings. Feelings are not positive or negative by themselves. That is a qualification, a judgment that comes from the outside. Let's think of feelings as comfortable or uncomfortable. When you start feeling uncomfortable, when some emotion that is rising within you makes you feel out of your center, it means that there is a need that is inside you and you're not saying it, and it needs your attention. If we decide to ignore them, or if we fail to understand them, needs will get louder. And the way that they get louder is by triggering behaviors that you have wired through repetition and help you cope with them. Let's explore an example. If you are needing to feel safe, and that is something that you have been needing for a while, but you haven't quite addressed it, you have found that hanging out with people all the time helps you to cope. Maybe it's because in your personal history, when you have been with other people, you have felt safe. So, very simply, you have a need for safety, and in the past, you have resolved that need by hanging out with other people. Now, these other people may or may not provide you with the safety that you're looking for. Because, at least in this example, you're not aware of what you're doing. So you're not really intentional on providing yourself with safety. You're just at the surface of your habit, of your behavior. And let's say that you start hanging out with people, you meet people that are always there because basically they share your need or they don't have anything else to take care of. And you start hanging out with them because they make you feel safe. But you're starting to unsatisfy other needs. Maybe you need to feel control over your finances and you're spending a lot of money while you're hanging out with them. Or maybe you need connection. You need a meaningful communication and relationship with them. But they are, just hanging out. They are not interested in connecting. They're interested in showing up, being there, and just play a group meeting or a group gathering. So your need for safety is not really satisfied. You're just coping with it, using an experience from your past. What happens is that, let's say you're hanging out with a crowd that does not provide you with safety and even becomes unsafe in many ways. If you start choosing to hang out with them, to try to establish relationships with them, and they do not respond, or they get involved into unsafe situations, emotional, physical, any kind of safety, then you end up feeling that you made, yet again, another bad decision. That you chose to become a part of this group, and this group turned out to be the same story as you always bumped into. When my clients come and tell me that they hope they can learn to make decisions that do not work out as bad as in the past, the first thing that we do is that we talk about their past. Not in a way of therapy, because I am not a therapist, I am a coach, but in a way of trying to draw timelines on how things developed. And the idea of this timeline is to find patterns that, come out every time. These experience that ended up with you feeling this way, how did it begin? And this other experience, how did it begin? And then what do these experiences have in common? That technique is called integration. And that is something you can use just as simply as trying to make a timeline about the events that led to that experience. Another way you can start practicing connecting with your needs is to acknowledge them. This comes from compassion. That's why I like to compare needs with toddlers or babies or puppies or kittens. Anything that helps you to see it with compassion. The first person that owes you compassion and respect is yourself. So if you are needing reassurance, if you are needing safety, if you are needing sleep, if you are needing understanding, acknowledge that feeling that is uncomfortable, but it's here to tell you something. So if you feel hopeless, maybe you're needing safety. Maybe you are needing intention. Maybe you are needing action. You are needing to remember that you have the power to affect change. So whenever an uncomfortable feeling comes to you, you can acknowledge it. You can say, you can name it. That's the first step. Okay, I am feeling hopeless. I am feeling scared. I am feeling alone, lonely, which is different. There's a nuance there. And then feel that all over your body and thank that feeling for letting you know that there's something going on. Really, truly, honestly thank that feeling. And then ask the feeling to show you what's the next level. As you engage in that conversation with yourself, that honest, vulnerable conversation with yourself, try to get as deep as you can. Use your journal. You can write how you're feeling after you experience it or while you're doing it. Somehow establish a conversation with yourself. You can use a journal. You can use a good friend who listens. We all have that friend that we love and it's kind of mean. And, I've had this friend and she would sit on my table with a glass of wine and tell me exactly what I had to do with my life. I love her. And she's well-intentioned and she has been really good at kicking my butt and pushing me out there. But in this particular case, you might want to choose a friend who listens, who asks questions. You might also want to choose a professional, a coach, a therapist, someone who is willing to sit by you and ask you what's underneath. As you feel this, what is this feeling telling you about your needs? Now, this comes with practice. Connecting with your needs is a practice that you master through repetition. If you make it a goal, you can set a goal as part of your self-care plan, for example. Learn to connect with my needs. How do you know you're connecting with your needs? When you know how to address them. When you start noticing that your decisions and your actions make sense, feel comfortable, create joy, create inspiration, create hope, create peace for you. And now, how to observe what triggers. Once you connect with your need, thank that need for calling your attention. And then recall how you have done this in the past. I do this very weird thing. It is when I feel very tired, I don't go to sleep. If I feel very tired, what I do is that I watch a show on Netflix. And that, my friend, is a coping mechanism. My need is sleep. The behavior that would satisfy that need is going to sleep. But for some reason in my past, I have tricked my brain into believing that it can rest while watching TV. So if I want to change this relationship of feeling sleepy and watching TV, I need to be very conscious of it and very intentional. So the first thing I need to do is to understand the signs of this need. How does my body feel when I'm sleepy? And then as soon as I recognize these signs in my body, I resolve the intention. I act and go to bed. I tell myself, I am sleepy, what I need is rest, and I am providing myself with rest. Just to wrap it up, something that is very, very helpful in your process of connecting with your needs is to create your own personal dictionary of feelings and needs. When I name them, there are amazing resources out there. I personally love the inventory of needs and feelings from the Nonviolent Communication Center. There's also Wheels of Emotions. There are many resources that can help you start naming both the needs and the feelings that you're experiencing, so you can own them and you can make conscious, intentional decisions. I hope this has been helpful. Join my Facebook group, Own Your Decisions. I will post the link in the description of this video, and help me know. Let me know how I can help. What do you think about this exercise, and how did it go if you practice it? Thank you for watching. I am Tania Gerard, your Congruency coach.